Okay, students, today we are going to learn about the concurrency control. Okay, DBMS concurrency control. So, what is concurrency control? Yesterday we studied about the serialization. Okay, today concurrency control is a series of transaction is happening. At the same time, multiple transaction is happening in one time at one time. That is called as the concurrency control. Okay, so concurrency control is the management procedure that is required for controlling concurrent execution of operation that takes place on a database. But before knowing about concurrency control, we have to know what is concurrent execution. So concurrent execution means, for example, for this transaction, for second example, I will say an example, then you can understand the other things also. For example, we are taking an SBI ATM machine which is located in various location. At the same time, number of transaction will happen at the same time in that machine. Okay, that SBI ATM machine. Okay, so while working on database transaction, second example, there what database transaction? Okay, there occurs the requirement of using the database by multiple users for performing different operation, and in that case concurrent execution of the database is performed. Like the same time here also, same thing here also, in a multi-user system. For example, I can say for this the railway ticket reservation, the Takal ticket. For that, multiple user will be accessing the same ticket at the same time. Okay, in the same database. So that is the example for this. See, in a multi-user system, multiple users are access and use the same database at one time, which is known as concurrent execution of the database. Okay, so these are the things. For example, you have to know what is concurrent execution. So while doing this execution, these types of concurrent execution, some problems also occurs. Okay, in database transaction, two operations are there, that is read and write operation. Okay, so we have to manage these two operations in concurrent execution of a transaction. Okay, that is the main thing. And as if these operations are not performed in an interleaved manner. Okay, we should not allow. Interleaved manner means it creates inconsistency of the data. Okay, so this is the concept. So two operations, read write operations, these two operations should be managed in the concurrent execution transaction without allowing interleaved manner transaction, because it leads to inconsistent data. So three problems occurs with concurrent execution. The first problem is lost update problem, that is write conflict, we can say that. Dirty read problem, that is write read conflict. Unrepeatable read operation, that is write read conflict again. So first we can see about the first problem, that is lost update problem, write conflict. Lost means data are lost during we are using by write conflict. Okay, so this what is this, we can see first, then I will explain with an example. The problem occurs when two different database transactions perform a read write operation on the same database item in an interleaved manner. See, this is not serial manner, this is an interleaved manner. Okay, that makes the value of the items incorrect, hence it makes the database inconsistency. How this lost update problems makes the database inconsistency, we can see with an example. See, in this table we are having two transactions, that is TX and T1. This transaction is working with the account A. Okay, with account A. So account A, his account balance is $300. Okay, so this is the time span in the first T1 time, at time T1, which is read first, read A. Okay, now what is happening means we are going to detect for $50 from where? From the account A. So after doing a particular transaction, everything, we have to update it by a write operation. See, here it is not at all updated in using write operation. So in the transaction 3, now what is happening? Again, so time 3, T3, transaction TY, it is also reading the same data. So see now how many, so without updating, okay, it takes the data as, see, the transaction 3, TY reads the value of account A, that will be, because it is not updated. No, now the value of A will be remain the same, that is 300. Now transaction Y, what it is doing? It is adding 100 to this account A. Okay. Now it is also not at all updating. It is also not at all updating. Now in T6, what is happening? At last, it is see here when I read this in T6, what happening? Transaction TX writes the value of account A. That will be how much? It is having the same transaction except it is not updated. So how many data, which value it will have? It will have 250. Okay, 350 is detected, and the and the transaction X, it will have the A value as 250 because it is not updated. Here, what is happening? Here, the transaction is when it writes A, the transaction becomes 400. Okay, now the transaction becomes 400. So in T7, what is happening? See, T7, time T7, TY writes the value of account A. So now it is done in T4. T4, it changes its values to, it adds its value to the 300. 100 is added to 300, so it becomes 400. It means the value of TX is lost. Okay, now the value of TX, that is 250, is lost here. So this is the, so it is lost. Okay, so now new value is updated, that is, so this is called the lost update problem. Next one is the dirty read problem. Dirty read problem means write-read conflict again. The dirty read problem occurs when one transaction updates an item of database and somehow the transaction fails. And before the data gets rolled back, okay, before the data gets rolled back, the updated database item is accessed by another transaction. There comes the read-write conflict in the both transaction. This we can see with an example. There are two transactions here, TX and TY. So TX, it is working with the same data. Okay, A, account A. Already we saw the account is 300. Account A balance is $300. In T1, what is happening? The transaction X is reading A and it is adding account $50 with this A, and it updates. Once the read operation is given, updation is over. That is the meaning. Okay. So here read. So in time T4, what is happening? Immediately the read operation is performed by this TY transaction. So now which value it will read? It is updated now. In database, it is updated. Now what is the value of A here while reading? 350. Okay, 350. But due to the failure of the system, okay, so some transaction becomes failure because of server problem. At that time, what is given? Rollback command is given. Rollback given. But it is not at all, see, but once the read is taken, that is the value of A. It is choosing, that is the value of A. Okay, so even if we are giving rollback, the value of A is not updated to 300. Okay, so this transaction is not happening. So it is giving rollback. So what happens? 300 must be in the account, but now what account is the value is not updated, and in the transaction the account of A, 350 remains. Okay, this is known as the dirty read problem. So immediately because of this read problem, this problem is created.